of this Cargill's Food City FA Cup 2016, the third quarterfinal between Army SC and Air Force SC, brought to you live and exclusive from Sri Lanka's premier sports hub, ThePapare.com, live from Racecourse International Stadium. Air Force captained by Kamindu Ishan and Army captained by Bandara Varkagoda. Silencing remembrance of the lives that were departed during the last 2 weeks from the adverse weather conditions and the landslides. Air Force in their blue and white, and Army in their usual yellow. Army coming into this match defeating Brilliant SC 12-1 in their pre-quarter final, while Air Force having a bit of luck after they were defeated in the pre-quarter final but by Solid SC 2-1, but after protest made by the team after Solid SC player, foreign player, thought to have found without a valid visa. The decision was reversed in favor of Air Force SC, who makes their way into this FA Cup quarter-final. And I'm joined in commentary by Lelum Mahakumara. Lelum, a very good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon to you too, Navod, and to all the viewers who are joining around the globe on www.thepapare.com, Sri Lanka's #1 sports hub. It's the third quarter-final of the FA Cup Championship, live and exclusively brought to you from Racecourse International Stadium. Army Sports Club taking on Sri Lanka Air Force today. It's going to be a crack of a game here, the third quarter-final. First quarter-final, of course, was won by Colombo FC after a brilliant game of football. While Renown qualified on to the semi-final stage, winning the second quarter-final, which was held last week. And this match, of course, was postponed a lot of times due to adverse weather during the past 2 weeks. And finally, we are here today at Racecourse International Stadium once again, bringing you the live action of this third quarter-final. And today, the sky seems a bit clear, but the weather forecast is not on the sunny side. But we do hope that rain wouldn't fall until this beautiful game of football is finished. And it's all set here to start the game. Both the teams are taking their positions in the field.
Well, Eluma, the first two quarterfinals have been heavy scoring ones. The first one 15-1, won by Colombo FC against Hillary SC. Then second one 5-1, Renown versus Javelin. So let's hope this would be the same. These two sides are known, very high scoring teams, especially Army SC, who scored 12 against Brilliant SC in their pre-quarter final.
That was the record for this year's FA Cup Championship for the highest number of goals scored, but Colombo FC, the first quarter-final, overpassing it, scoring 15 goals, and that's the starting whistle as the game commences, the third quarter-final. Sri Lanka Army with the ball.
Sankatanshka now has it. And Mohammad Izzerin has the ball. Zamit Rahman, misplaced pass, gives it to Kamindu Ishan, who is the danger man. Kamindu Ishan, who is the danger man for Air Force SC down that left wing. They'll be looking for him to give the inspiration. The captain for this year, Kamindu Ishan, the Sri Lanka under 23 player. Lot of potential in him. Air Force now has the ball, intercepted, and that's Madhushan De Silva, the captain of Army, and the throw-in goes in favor of Army. Danushka in midfield. He'll be the linchpin. He's in a pinpoint accurate pass to Madhushan, but somehow Nadika Pushpakumara gets to it. A through ball to Mohammad Izzuddin, and he's way offside. Correctly called by the linesman. Free kick halfway down the Air Force half, quickly taken. Dilshan Fernando to Lakmal Gunasinghe, but once again Army gets hold of possession. Waraka Goda back to Jayatunga, the former skipper. Ding dong battle early in this match. Still both sides not having settled down, but it's Army who still has the ball. They've seen a lot of the ball possession as Asikur Rahman hacks it forward. Now Lakmal Gunasinghe. It's Shanak Udesh who's tussling with Roshan and gets a free kick, the first one of this match.
It will be in favor of Sri Lanka Air Force. They will be very much looking for this set piece to work on their favor and to get on to the scoring party to draw first blood here. It's very important if they can score a goal at the early stages and to put pressure back on Army as the ball goes curling into the box but headed away by the defense line. A beautiful piece of effort there. He just elevated and he just saw where the ball would exactly land and headed away.
That was a brilliant delivery by Kavindu Ishan, curling one right in between the defense and the goalkeeper. And a corner, the first one of this match, goes in favor of Air Force. Thumping drive, headed clear, but still inside the box, and the danger cleared by Nadika Pushpakumara, the veteran, former Sri Lanka midfielder. Now Kavindu Ishan finds himself on this side of the field, takes a shot, but it goes well over the crossbar.
Two set pieces back to back for Sri Lanka Air Force, but they fail to capitalize on either ones as Kavindu Ishan's effort too goes drifting away, and Sri Lanka Army takes a short goal kick here. The Sri Lanka Air Force who will have ball possession.
Gunasinghe to Shanak Udesh, finds Nipuna Bandara, and there's Kavindu Ishan all alone, tries a bicycle kick, an audacious one from an acute angle, missing it, and Nipuna Bandara's left-foot effort partially saved and put out for corner by Nilanka Kumara. And Air Force, even though they hadn't had much of the ball position in this opening few minutes, they are the ones who have created the chances. And now, as the second corner of the match
is in favor of Air Force as they take a short one once again inside the box, but the defense line is just too better, and once again Sri Lanka does well to keep danger out.
Air Force coached by the returning Sampath Pereira, who was relieved of his national duties. And the long throw in cleared away partially, still inside the box. Nadika Pushpakumara, Nipuna Bandara, now Harsha Fernando on the edge of the box, and Army gets a free kick to get out of jail. While Army is coached by Mohammad Fahmi, experienced man. And these kind of matches, especially the FA Cup, is where Army has thrived. They won the 2014 FA Cup, defeating Blue Star SC. They made it into the semi-final of last year's edition, only to be denied by Colombo FC in penalties. Nipuna Bandara, pressure on him as he gives the ball to Harsha Fernando. Velgamage is well tackled, and Danushka gives the ball to Jayatunga, who tries to find Chamira. And that's a free kick in favor of Air Force.
Into the box, but once again kept down low by the Army defense. This time gets a very good through ball, and that time too the goalkeeper doesn't make any mistake in covering his ground. Beautiful save there, and a much needed one for Sri Lanka Army. It was beautifully set by the Air Force offense, but unfortunately the goalkeeper was just too good.
Now on the other end, Mohammad Izzeddin putting on the pressure. The Air Force defense comes back very quickly. First real opportunity. And now Madhushan De Silva is caught offside. But a minute or so ago, that was the first real opportunity created by Air Force. Wonderful cross by Shanak Udesh, and Kavindu Ishan coming in front of his defender, putting in a thumping header low, partially saved by Nilanka Kumara, but however enough to keep the ball away from getting into the goal. And now Air Force gets another free kick. Once again in dangerous position. Kavindu Ishan to take it. Floating ball, but there seems to have been slight push inside the box, quickly taken by Army. This is where they are dangerous on the counter. Welcome again. Harsha Fernando tries to find Shanak Udesh, but the ball is a bit quicker than him. Air Force through ball to Nipuna Bandara, who is played on side. Looking for options. Now gives it to Kavindu Ishan. Cleared away, but only until Lankeshwara. Appeals for free kick by Kavindu Ishan, but the referee waves play on.
Sri Lanka Army once again in position now, getting themselves into the attacking half, sends it beautifully through the defenses. but unfortunately once again deemed offside. It has not been best of the offensive phases for Sri Lanka Army. Even the prior offense phase was deemed offside for Mohammad Isdin, which was a clear breakthrough, and he should have scored. And this time too they just follow the same pattern as Sri Lanka Air Force begins the counter-attack, and the ball just rolls away over the white line.
Well, Elum, that was the fourth offside for Army. 3 of them by their talisman Mohammad Izzuddin. Army not had the best of starts. It's Air Force who has done all the talking. 4 attempts and 2 of them on target. Suraj Bernard to Pushpa Kumara. Velgamage now to Kavindu Vishan. The through ball having a bit too much on it. Now the ball is hacked forward and it goes out for a corner. I beg your pardon, a goal kick.
This time over the top, right in just near the half line. But once again, Sri Lanka Army fails to capitalize on it. Sri Lanka Air Force gets the better of it and sends it into the attacking half. And once again, Kavindu Vishan just missing it by a second. Army defense should be really lucky that he missed it off. It would have been a clear goal. And what a start it has been for Air Force.
Wonderful raking ball into the box in search of Sajid Kumara. But it's Suraj Bernard who takes it, blocked away. Still has it. First effort on target, but a tame one easily gathered by Ruan Arunasari.
That will certainly ease a bit of pressure off for the soldiers out there. They've not had the best of the offensive starts they wanted. A lot of offsides on the tally right at the start of the game, and that shot on target will relieve themselves a bit.
Leluma, these two sides are an interesting matchup because the last 2 times they've met, it's Air Force who has come out on top, and even the 2013 Dialogue Champions League semi-final, Air Force stunned Army with a 1-0 win. And it's much talked about that if you can stop Mohammad Izzuddin, you can stop Army, because Izzuddin has been their main goal scorer. So it will be an interesting battle, especially with Sampath Perera back as a coach of Air Force, tactical mastermind.
Indeed, the Army defense, rather the offense, just revolves all around Mohammad Izzuddin. And if you can make sure that you block paths to him, it will be an easy game against these lads dressed in yellow. And Sri Lanka Air Force, of course, tons of experience in that aspect. They will look down to keep him in a low profile. And I think they've done better so far than them. They've got the start that they wanted. They just have to make sure that they convert those opportunities into scoring opportunities, and they will be clearly on top of this game and qualify alongside Renown and Colombo FC for the semi-final stage of this FA Cup Championship.
It's Varaka Godo who hacks the ball forward. And cleverly done by Angelo Fernando, getting Izzuddin's touch before it went out. Throw in for Air Force. This time a free kick for the Airmen.
Much needed set piece opportunity for Sri Lanka Army. They were lacking behind in their offense, and now they have a clear-cut opportunity here to convert this into a scoring opportunity if they get their basics right.
Lakshthi Jayatunga, that was a poor delivery, easily dealt with, but the pressure is still on as Rahman has it, puts in a cross and partially cleared away, now out for a corner.
Once again, back-to-back opportunities, set-piece opportunities for Sri Lanka Army here. Now they have a corner in hand, and they do have the potential to turn it into a scoring opportunity, so they just have to make sure that they get the delivery right. The prior free kick was not the best of the kicks that you could expect at this stage of the game, right at the starts, where a lot of energy is put into the game. This time curling into the box, but once again the defense does the better of it, but inside the box still, and now cleared away by Sri Lanka Air Force.
3 efforts and all 3 of them been blocked by the defense.
Sri Lanka Army, of course, will be very disappointed. The ball was just there in the box for too much time. They couldn't just get a clear shot at the goal, and hence the clearance from Sri Lanka Air Force. Turned away.
Army slowly but surely coming into this match now. Sajid Kumara controls it brilliantly inside the box, but Lakmal Gunasinghe was up to the task as he clears it out for another corner.
Gunasinghe, of course, coming all the way from offense, just cleared it off beautifully. He knew exactly where his man would go to. Just anticipated it very well. And another corner in favor of Sri Lanka Army. So good chances here for them to get back into their rhythm that they've lost at the start of the game. Still 19 minutes gone. So they have plenty of time to adjust into the game and cover the mistakes that they did in the first few minutes. Just falls inside the box, but once again a brilliant defensive effort by Sri Lanka Air Force comes all the way from inside the box to the edge and clears it away. So it's a strong message down that how strong their defense is and how much of rhythm that Sri Lanka Army lacks right now in the game. This time through the defense line, a good opportunity for Sri Lanka Army to score, and yes, they do so. Beautifully scored there by Mohammad Isadin. He just came, saw the defender, made sure that he got the ball through him, and then it was just one opportunity just to get the right shot, and he does the best of it, and that's the first one for Sri Lanka Army.
Well, Nilam, that's the commentator's curse. You were saying that their defense was a bit too strong for them, for Army, and that's a brilliant through ball for Mohammad Izzadeen to get on to. And like I said before, he's a clinical finisher, and he shows that was his first real opportunity, and scores the goal for Army. They have the upper hand.
That just proves the point how much of this offense revolves around him. The key player for Sri Lanka Army, Mohammad Izzadeen, who just scored the goal a few seconds ago. So if you make sure that you stop him, if you just block over his paths, Sri Lanka Air Force could get on top of this game. But right now, they have quite a tough task ahead of them. They have to score 2 goals to win this game and 1 to square things off. But luckily for them, they do have ample time remaining in the clock.
We are into the 22nd minute. The last time these two sides met were in the Super 8 round of the Dalak Champions League. In that match also, Air Force went down early in the match. Once again a goal by Mohammad Izzadeen, but they came on and came back to draw the match as another foul on Angelo Fernando.
Free kick opportunity here for Sri Lanka Air Force. They need to make sure that they control the pressure on their shoulders. This time over the top into the attacking half. Doesn't find the gap. Kept down low by the Army defenders. And a yellow card. Out of the pocket of the referee, and that's the first one in this quarter-final stage of the FA Cup Championship in favour of Sri Lanka Air Force.
Roshan back to Asikur Rahman, who is under pressure, but Roshan brings it forward and once again finds Mohammad Izzadeen, who is not happy with his left back. Asking him to bring the ball forward more often.
We have a player down on the Sri Lankan Air Force outfit while the physio attends him. Of course, we'll remind you about the ThePapare.com social media platforms. There are 24/7 news up targeting both international and national news. You can find us on all major social media platforms, starting on from Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and of course on SoundCloud, where we bring live updates right after from the venue as soon as every match is over, so that you can just tune in and get a brief knowledge on how the scores were and how they were scored. You can simply tune in. Log in to www.thepapare.com, Sri Lanka's #1 sports hub, and follow us on all major social media platforms. As we have the players still down on the ground. Physio still attending him. Seems as if it's a cramp.
Now joined in commentary by Harshan Joseph. Harshan, very good evening to you. After good start by Air Force, it's Army who has the lead, and they've come into this match as the game has progressed, isn't it?
Very good evening, Nawab. Very good evening to our viewers as well. Yeah, I think after a early spell of dominance, it's Army who are making the inroads now. Defensive howler put in Mohammad Izzadeen, who was clinical enough to finish his chance. After an early setback, I think now they are settling into the game. The nerves have settled. And now it's Army who are asking the questions from the Air Force defense. Play to resume after a short interval due to injury. Now the referee is asking the game to be started off.
Looks like it's Shanaka Udesh who is down injured. A knee injury by the looks of it. Not good signs. Not
Both
good
players-
sign. Not good signs for Air Force.
Yeah, both players contested for a 50-50 ball. I think Udesh came out the worst out of the challenge. Seems like a bit serious than it looked like. He certainly seemed to be in a lot of discomfort, and Army hopefully will be able to capitalize on the man advantage with Udesh out of the field.
Once again, this time a foul committed by Sanka Danushka.
Army have to be careful with these challenges they are causing, because Air Force can be troubling with their set pieces. Early onwards, they had a few chances.
Especially by Kamid Ushan, who got a clear header, unmarked. Now Angelo Fernando on the right towards the byline, and gets a corner from a tight
Wins the
position.
corner. He wins the corner out of nothing. It's a very good piece of play. Hopefully they'll be able to capitalize. I think the substitution now for Udesh.
Well, that's DK Duminder, who is making his first appearance after over an year. Was out due to an ACL injury.
Once again, a lovely set piece work. Army just able to clear their lines.
Once again, it's Kamid Ushan's delivery that's been causing trouble for the Army defense. And off your screen, Shanak Udesh is being carried off by the support staff. Now this time a brilliant ball, curving one towards the far post.
Completely got the keeper off guard. He expected the ball to be whipped into the box, but he curved in towards his far post. Fortunately for him, it just kept the bar and out.
Dilshan Fernando tries to find the winner, cleared away, but still Air Force has it. Now Lakmal Gunasinghe on his left foot puts in a wonderful cross, but just before he went up, Duminder seems to have slipped. The opportunity lost for Air Force.
Duminder seemed the favourite to get to the end of the ball, but he unfortunately had a slip and wasn't able to get to the end of it.
This time Izzadin putting on the pressure and keeping the ball in play.
It was a wonderful play. He created something out of nothing for the Army players there. And he won a throw-in for his team. Quickly taken throw-in as well.
Pushpa Kumara just outside the box.
Get another player on the ground for Army. It's another heavy challenge at the end of the Air Force penalty area.
That looks to be Sajid Kumara. Few injury concerns early in this match.
A lot of heavy tackles being thrown in by both parties. Already a player has been substituted as a result of that. It seems like they're not content with it. It seemed to be a very physical game in midfield especially.
And sometimes, Harshan, the slippery conditions underfoot making the challengers look even worse. Coming into the challengers, players need to be careful.
Sometimes that's the sort of conditions even the referees take into consideration while making their decisions as well. It's not very easy staying on your feet while making these challenges. So all these made into consideration, but the players also have to be cautious nonetheless, because you cannot always blame the conditions. Throwing in the challenges, you have to always make sure you stay on your feet and continue the game. Again, the ball being stolen, long range effort straight into the hands of the keeper.
That was once again a brilliant effort by Kavindu Shan. And just a reminder that all the photographs and videos can be purchased at reasonable rates. Just email us at info@thepapare.com or call us on 0777 822 777. 0777 822 777. As Nipuna Bandara tussling with Rahman on the right, and brilliantly tackled by Rahman.
The Air Force forwards seem to have a good first half in the game, although they haven't been able to make it count. But certainly they have had their fair share of chances.
It's Sumeda versus Izzadin. Puts the ball just behind Sajid Kumara. Now intercepted by Harsha Fernando. Quick bit of passing from Air Force, but not going to their own man. That has been the case sometimes for this airman in this first half. Trying to do things a bit too quickly and missing out on key chances, especially in the attack in third.
The Army defense seem to be very narrow. They're not leaving any space in the middle for the airmen, which is also been a problem, especially trying to make those telling balls through midfield.
Harsha Fernando. Long throw in. Nipuna Bandara flicks it, but straight to Nilanka Kumara. Now Chaturanga Fernando frees Kavindu Ishan just outside the box, but brilliantly kept by Nilanka Kumara, coming way out of his box on the edge. Dangerous position for him. Now Army on the counter attack and finds Mohammad Izzadin offside.
He seems to have won a throw in for his team. Certainly he's the target man up front for Army as they're punting the ball, hopefully expecting him to get to the end of it, which he is most of the time, and he's winning a lot of possession for his team, and he's defensively helping them out as well.
Even in his mid-30s, Mohammad is been causing trouble. Even young defense. This time a goal kick. Back to forward once again. Now Varakagoda showing his strength. Now Danushka keeping things calm, gives it to Madhushan De Silva, puts the ball into the box. Arunasari comes forward and collects it. Now Kavidushan having to come into his own half, collect the ball, and gives the ball to Nipuna Bandara. And once again it's Zamit Rahman who is there to clear the danger.
Yet again Kavindu Ishan is the man who's providing the telling pass for the Airmen, and yet they haven't been able to capitalize with it. There's another long ball thrown into the box, dealt with by Army. Not really convincing in terms of clearing their lines, and here comes Kamidushan again, and the Army defense holds. Yet another throw in after a short throw in was taken towards the feet of Kamidushan. Okay, now the throw goes long, flicked on. A lot of confusion in the Army box in terms of the defending. Not really convincing, but yet again they managed to clear their lines somewhat.
So once again, Mohammad Izzuddin causing the trouble, and Mara Lankeshwara getting the second yellow card for Air Force. Once again, that was a good bit of play by Mohammad Izzuddin.
Yeah, he's putting all his experience into play. He knows what he has to do. He's committing all the defenders into the challengers, and he's always getting the better of it. Yet another set piece for Army. Izzuddin seems to be in a little bit of discomfort, but I'm sure he'll be able to shrug it off.
Players are taking this time to hydrate themselves, even though it's overcast conditions and it's cool, but humidity is high.
It's still going to be really challenging for the players. I'm sure it's getting the better of them. 23 minutes into the game. It's still early days, but it's starting to show on some of the players. There's a lot of time still for the Air Force team to get into the game, but it's a matter of how they could make their position count. So far they haven't been able to make early inroads of early dominance they possessed throughout the game, but it was Army who capitalized on the only chance they had. Now they have a chance with another set piece whipped in. Yet another hopeful ball, but the keeper comfortably holds and launches the ball forward. It's very good defending there by Army, holding on to the striker and asking him to commit a foul, which he did. They win the free kick.
One thing we can rely upon, Joe, is that these two sides are physically very well fit sides, and you can expect game going down to the last minute with these two sides, especially the forces fit. And even though Air Force are down by 1 goal, they'll have the confidence to come into this match, because the last two times these two sides have met, Air Force have come back from behind to draw one match and win another. Very good play by veteran Bandar Varakagoda. There seems to be good understanding between Rahman and Varakagoda. As you said, there's not much room from the middle for Air Force, but it's always from the wings that they create those opportunities. On the left there's Kamindu Ishan, the skipper, and on the right there was Shanak Udesh, who unfortunately went out due to an injury. But still there is the right back, the marauding right back, Dimutu Lakmal Gunasingha.
Danushka Vijayasiri is the only man who seemed to have some sort of control for the opposition Army. creating a few chances, and he's playing a box-to-box game. He's also providing so many offensive balls in front for Mohammad Izzadeen to get on the end of. As we see, it's yet another foul from Mohammad Izzadeen. A lot of fouls committed on the Air Force half, giving them so many free kicks, which they seem not to have capitalized so far. A lot of possession though.
Two airmen almost colliding. Chaturanga Fernando and Lankeshwara. Not much understanding between the two.
Again, a loose pass. Air Force able to capitalize on it as well. Again, they're working their wings, playing for their strength. Lovely ball across. Yet another corner after that. Certainly seem to be causing a lot of discomfort when the ball is being whipped in from either side of the field. Not much of conviction in terms of defending, yet they're getting the job done. Coming Dushan with a deep free kick. Again dealt with Army. And quickly trying to launch a counter-attack with Mohammad Izzadeen. Yet another heavy tackle on the Army defender there. Certainly leaving a lot on him. Lakshita Jayatunga is the player down for Army, and immediately the referee has called for some assistance because he seems to be in a lot of discomfort after that challenge. Hope it's not a injury blow because he's one of the main men for Army. It will be certainly a huge setback for them in midfield. A lot of players taking a breather during the injury break, getting some much needed water into their systems, because it is going to be possibly a longer game if Air Force were to equalize and are not able to produce a result by the end of 90 minutes. Play continues with a man advantage for the Airmen. Will they be able to capitalize? We are yet to see. Coming Dushan on the ball. Easily moves past his defender. Oh! Dumidu running into the keeper, who already seemed to have gotten the grasp of the ball, so the referee rightly giving a free kick in favor of the soldiers, as the Air Force yet again get the ball and try to make something out of this possession they've been having. They've been dominating in midfield without any question, yet it's Army who have the telling stat in their favor, which is a goal to nil scored by Mohammad Izzadeen, who is a joint top scorer now in the Cargill's FA Cup with that effort on the 20th minute. He latched onto a defensive howler and made sure Air Force paid for it dearly. Referee plays a telling advantage, but they're not able to capitalize again. Kavindu Ishan trying to run at his defender, but doesn't seem to have the legs to get past his man. Wants a free kick, but nothing doing in terms of the referee. As another player has hit the ground after a heavy challenge. It's the Army skipper Madhushan De Silva. Referee asking him to stand up and get on with it. And Ipun Bandar on the ball, tries to find a teammate, which he does. Now Air Force trying to quickly change sides from the ball.
Once again, towards the end of the first half, Air Force getting a lot of possession, but once again not being able to convert those chances, as Army having a very tight defense. And the referee blows for half time after getting into the match early on. Air Force created the chances. Kavindu Ishan having a free header which was partially saved and put out for a corner by Nilanka Kumara. But the middle stages of this Kargil's Food City FA Cup, the third quarterfinal, has been all Army, and they latched on to a defensive error from Air Force, and it was Mohammad Izzadeen who scored the first goal in the 20th minute. And once again, towards the end of this first half, Air Force getting a lot of position, but not the goal they wanted. Quite a few heavy challenges coming in this first half, and 2 yellow cards have been given to Air Force, while Shanak Udesh has been substituted due to a knee injury for Air Force SC. So do join us again in another 15 minutes time for the second half of this third quarterfinal between Army SC and Air Force SC in this Kargil's Food City FA Cup 2013, live and exclusive on ThePapare.com, Sri Lanka's premier sports hub.
This is the story of a nation on the move, competing globally through a fiber optic network, delivering solutions instantly with superfast 4G, redefining entertainment with 3G HSPA+, making every day more efficient with Wi-Fi, bringing a world of knowledge to your home with fixed 4G. Get connected to Sri Lanka's fastest network. Dialog, the #1 choice of the people. Dialog, the future today.
Sawadee-Kap! Can you give me data SIM?
Massage?
No, data SIM.
Massage, very good.
No, data SIM.
You are Sri Lanka? Why you no use dialogue data roaming? Unlimited data, $5 a day.
Unlimited data for just $5 a day?
Yeah. Unlimited, same massage you want?
Me?
Unlimited data roaming for just $5 a day with dialogue roaming. Clearly the best way to roam.
1 for 1 is all I want. 1 for 1 is all I need. Here, what's all this 1 for 1 talk?
The 1 for 1 plan from Dialog. Get 1 MB free for every 1 minute of talk time, per second charging, and a flat rate to any network.
Dialog 1 for 1 prepaid plan. Dialog, the future today.
Here? How are you going to stay in touch abroad?
Dialog roaming. They give the best rates.
Only if you pick the preferred network. Otherwise... get Dialog roaming. It's the one and only best rate on any overseas network, guaranteed.
One guaranteed best rate on any network? Woohoo!
Hassle-free roaming with the best rates in over 200 countries with Dialog roaming. Clearly the best way to roam. Introducing the Ultra 99 postpaid package from Dialog. Say everything you want to say with the ultra benefits of extra talk time, extra SMS and extra data at a monthly rental of just 99 rupees only. Dialog, the future today.
Here we are. Can I get a data SIM? Meh. I say, old chap, where might a fellow find a data SIM card? Kianako.
You're from Sri Lanka, right?
How did you know?
Why don't you use Dialog data roaming? Unlimited data for $5 a day.
Unlimited data for $5 a day and...
Data unlimited, my patience isn't.
Unlimited data roaming for just $5 a day with Dialog roaming. Clearly the best way to roam.
Now transact with over 14 million EasyCash customers via Dialog, Etisalat and Hutch. Dial #111# to register today. Now use selected commercial bank ATMs to withdraw EasyCash at your convenience.
Now I can withdraw EasyCash from any commercial bank ATM which displays the EasyCash logo. Select cardless transactions. Select your preferred language. Select EasyCash. Type in the amount you need. Enter your EasyCash account number. You will receive a message onto your mobile. Enter your EasyCash PIN and send to complete your transaction.
Now use commercial bank ATMs to withdraw EasyCash at your convenience. Call 7111 for more information. EasyCash, money in your mobile. Connect to Sri Lanka's largest Wi-Fi network with over 2,500 hotspots across the country. Cafes, restaurants, colleges, hospitals, bus stands, train stations and many more. Select Dialog Wi-Fi and visit wifi.dialog.lk to register and get your username and password. Choose from 4 easy ways to top up your account. Go Wi-Fi, go Dialog.
Sri Lanka is a small but proud nation, and we know we can conquer the world. So to me, it's important not to settle for anything but the best. Dialog Television is our window to the world. It brings us the widest range of knowledge, information and entertainment from across Sri Lanka and the globe, from education for our kids to the latest movies. Dialog Television, powered by the very latest in digital satellite technology, connects the world to every Sri Lankan home. Dialog is the future today.
Don't be constrained. Be versatile, be flexible. You have the power. Set talk time, SMS and data quotas to match your style and enjoy the full potential of your mobile package. It's my plan from Dialog. Absolute power to you.
To create your own plan, visit www.dialog.lk/myplan or call 1777 for more information.
Now, reserving your train tickets is as easy as reaching for your Dialog mobile. Just dial 444 and get instantly connected with the Dialog Expo Rail ticket reservation service. A new and hassle-free way to discover the breathtaking sights and sounds of Sri Lanka is now conveniently at your fingertips, anytime, anywhere. Dial 444 to reserve your Expo Rail train ticket today. Dialog, the future today. This is the story of a nation on the move, competing globally through a fiber optic network, delivering solutions instantly with superfast 4G, redefining entertainment with 3G HSPA+, making every day more efficient with Wi-Fi, bringing a world of knowledge to your home with fixed 4G. Get connected to Sri Lanka's fastest network. Dialog, the #1 choice of the people. Dialog, the future today.
Sawadee Krap! Can you give me data SIM?
Massage?
No, data SIM.
Massage, very good.
No, data SIM.
You are Sri Lanka? Why you no use dialogue data roaming? Unlimited data, $5 a day.
Unlimited data for just $5 a day?
Yeah. Unlimited, same massage you want?
Me?
Unlimited data roaming for just $5 a day with dialogue roaming. Clearly the best way to roam.
1 for 1 is all I want. 1 for 1 is all I need. Here, what's all this 1 for 1 talk?
The 1 for 1 plan from Dialog. Get 1 MB free for every 1 minute of talk time, per second charging and a flat rate to any network.
Dialogue 1 for 1 prepaid plan. Dialogue, the future today.
Here? How are you going to stay in touch abroad?
Dialog roaming. They give the best rates.
Only if you pick the preferred network. Otherwise...
Just get Dialog roaming. It's the one and only best rate on any overseas network, guaranteed.
One guaranteed best rate on any network? Woohoo!
Hassle-free roaming with the best rates in over 200 countries with Dialogue roaming. Clearly the best way to roam. Introducing the Ultra 99 postpaid package from Dialog. Say everything you want to say with the ultra benefits of extra talk time, extra SMS and extra data at a monthly rental of just 99 rupees only. Dialog, the future today.
Here, where can I get a data SIM? Bah. I say, old chap, where might a fellow find a data SIM card? Kiannako.
You're from Sri Lanka, right?
How did you know?
Why don't you use dialogue data roaming? Unlimited data for $5 a day.
Unlimited data for $5 a day and...
Data unlimited, my patience isn't.
Unlimited data roaming for just $5 a day with dialogue roaming. Clearly the best way to roam.
Serving over 240 million customers across Asia. Axiata, advancing Asia.
Hello and welcome back on www.thepapare.com, Sri Lanka's #1 sports hub, bringing you the live action here from Racecourse International Stadium of this third quarter-final of the FA Cup Championship. Sri Lanka Army versus Sri Lanka Air Force, and Sri Lanka Army leading this game 1-0 courtesy of Mohammad Ishadin, who scored a brilliant goal in the first few minutes of the game, inside the first 20 minutes to be precise. Brilliant breakthrough for him, but Army, of course, they did not get the start they wanted. 5 offsides for them in the first half, and the most significant factor would be Sri Lanka Air Force has got 2 yellow cards in the first half, and they've had 4 attempts, and out of the 4 it was just 2 attempts on target, but they just failed to capitalize during the first half. And out of the 5 attempts that Sri Lanka Army had, 4 were on target, and 1, of course, just clearing each and every one and just hitting the net where they scored. Joining with me in commentary is Joe. Good afternoon, Joe. And what a half it has been for Sri Lanka Army. They did not get on to the best of the starts, but they just found their rhythm during the latter part of the first half.
Good afternoon, Lelum. Yes, it was completely dominated by Air Force during the first few minutes of the game. Unfortunately for them, they weren't able to capitalize on their chances. But Army, when it really mattered, got on hold of the very few chances they had and made sure they scored with one of them, which reflects on our scoreline during halftime. And now as the second half kicks off, Mohammad Ifam has been substituted for an unfortunate Lakshita Jayatunka, who had to be stretchered off during the end of the first half. Just as the first half ended, it's Air Force with the possession, who enjoyed a lot of the ball, but unfortunately weren't able to capitalize.
Indeed, Joe, they did have one of the good starts they needed into this game, but they just couldn't capitalize, as you very rightly mentioned. But Army, on the other hand, getting back into that much needed rhythm during the latter part of the first game, scoring that first goal, and since then they've been on top of the game, dominating in every aspect. And it's very crucial that Sri Lanka Air Force finds their touch during the first few minutes of the second half, as now they need to score 2 goals to qualify into the semi-final stage alongside of Colombo FC and Renown.
Air Force again starting on the front foot, knowing that they have to force the issue against their opposition. Being a goal down, they really need to ask a lot of questions again in the second half from the soldiers, and most importantly they should be able to capitalize. As we see, Air Force just win their first corner of the second half, and their talisman is yet again going to take the corner for them.
It will be very interesting to see how Kamidu Ishan will opt for this corner. It's a much needed set position for them to capitalize and convert into a scoring opportunity to relieve pressure of this game. And yes, the ball comes curling into the box, but misses everyone and just falls through the gap and goes over the white line. It will be Sri Lanka Air Force with ball possession.
Wonderful outswinging corner, but nobody unfortunately was able to get a telling touch on it. Yet again, Army trying to launch a counter-attack, but Air Force seemed to be having control of it. The defense growing in confidence more and more in the game as their midfield seems to be controlling the game for them. And it's another throw in. Quickly taken throw, and they quickly exchange the ball towards Kavindu Ishan, who has been fouled. And surely it's going to be a booking for the left back who has been constantly troubling the opposition.
As the yellow card comes out of the referee's pocket, Kavindu Ishan on the other hand will also be very much disappointed. If he had got a foot on that ball, he would have surely converted into a scoring opportunity, or rather he would have tried to get it on to a brilliant position for one of his teammates to convert it. It was a brilliant pass over everyone and landing straight off into the vacant area, but unfortunately Kavindu Ishan missing out on that one. But right now Air Force once again with a good free kick opportunity just outside the box. And of course Kavindu Ishan takes it all the way over the top, and a brilliant effort, just missing it. Army very lucky there, Joe.
Yet another beautiful set piece from Kavindu Ishan, completely left the keeper of Army SC in no man's land. Fortunately for him, his defense came into his aid, kicking the ball away or heading the ball away into a corner. Kavindu Ishan again will provide a gem of a ball.
Just outside the box, and this time too the defense gets the better of Sri Lanka Air Force's offense. It was a beautiful corner once again, curling into the box by Kavindu Ishan, but this time it's overturned, and now Sri Lanka Army is on the offense.
Army trying to launch a quick counter, but unfortunately their front man is offside. So yet again they're not able to capitalize on Air Force's mistakes. There was a lot of last-ditch defending inside their box. Army have been asked a lot of questions by Air Force. Unfortunately for Air Force, they've not been able to make that telling touch in the final third for them to draw a level in this game.
Joe, Air Force will be very disappointed. All the last three faces were set pieces for them in favor, 2 corners and 1 free kick, but they just couldn't manage to convert them into scoring opportunities. They are very much needed chances for them to take, with Army leading 1-0.
They couldn't have asked for better deliveries. Kavindu Ishan always provided them with peaches of balls, but unfortunately nobody was able to get their head on top of the ball, at least to trouble the goalkeeper, who seemed to be in a lot of discomfort during those set pieces. Unfortunately, Air Force also not being in a position to capitalize on it. Yet another free kick conceded on the defensive half of Army, who launch a ball forward in hope to find their talisman Mohammad Izzadeen. Here come Air Force again. Certainly seem to be on the front foot. Again, the Army defense caught sleeping. Kavindu Ishan is dancing past a few defenders again. He seems to be troubling most of them. The double team against them, yet still weren't able to get past him. Again, a reckless challenge on Kavindu Ishan, which will result in another booking for the Army defender.
That's the second yellow card for Sri Lanka Army, troubling Kavindu Ishan once again.
Roshan Appuhami the culprit this time, who's been taken down into the book. Army can't afford throwing these challenges around, because they will come to a point where they will be tested continuously in defense, and with a lot of men taken down into the book, there is a chance of a red card being dished out, so they have to be careful about their challenges. Again, Kavindu Ishan standing on the ball for another set piece.
Referee just making sure all the positions are set right inside the box between both offense and defense, as Kavindu Ishan on the other side prepares himself for a much needed set piece. Once again over the top. This time too, the defense gets the better of it. A beautiful header, And Sri Lanka Army on the counter. Takes it through everyone. But unfortunately they just gets that pass a little bit with more power.
It was another poor ball from midfield. Unable to find their talisman Mohammad Izzadeen, who was really disappointed with the fact that he wasn't able to get the ball onto his feet. Yet again he's found offside. A lot of frustration setting into the Army camp now, with Air Force completely dominating the second half, at least the first phase of it.
Indeed, it has been good momentum for Sri Lanka Air Force during the start of the second half. They've got the much needed set piece onto their favour, but unfortunately they couldn't just convert it. They have the rhythm within their feet. They have to make sure that they take the right choices and take the right shots using the momentum that they've gained, which is very crucial going into the latter part of this game.
Poor bit of play there by Air Force, turning the ball around rather, giving a throw in for Army. Yet again Army not being able to capitalize or to hold on to the ball. Air Force is just pulling the strings in midfield. Mohammad Izzadeen hardly has been able to get into the game from the second half. He seems to be a lone ranger up front, hoping for a ball to come to his feet, which hasn't. A lot of frustration setting into him as well. Army seem to be somewhat pinned into their own half during the first half of the second half, and again player going down in terms of infringement. Referee says nothing doing. Referee seems to be having to take a lot of control over the game, with a lot of physical challenges being thrown around by both set of players. Clearly it's a physically demanding game compared to both the other two quarterfinals, which seem to have been one-sided, whereas this game seemed to be very tight. It could be settled by a goal by the looks of it, but Army certainly having to defend.
Sri Lanka Army just getting the ball inside the box, but that was not the effort that you'd have wished. Onto a pass just like that, missing it off completely and sending it all the way out of grounds.
Suraj Bernard trying to volley the ball, but unfortunately seemed to have gotten a little bit underneath it, which just sent the ball miles away from the target. Once again launching another attack, call of offside against the number 11 player, Nipuna Bandara.
Sri Lanka Army will be very disappointed with the effort of Suraj Bernard. Not getting the right shot at the right time. Once again, the keeper doing a pretty neat job, coming all the way up front and collecting it neatly. He knew Aishadin was up front to take the shot.
Lovely ball dished out to Nipuna Bandara, who seems to have made a meal of it, but wins a throw-in nonetheless. Coming to Ishan with a quick throw. Was working the ball back again to work their way into the Army half, but seem to be more urgent, seem to have to push more further rather than to keep possession. Again, a last-ditch clearance gives another throw in for Air Force. Kavin Dushan again to take it. Signs of a long throw into the box, yet it's a good cross in, headed away by the Air Force defense. I beg your pardon, the Army defense, who clear the ball yet again with little conviction, yet they get the job done. Decision going against Mohammad Izzadeen, who wanted a throw in for his favor, but was given in favor of Air Force yet again. Yet another hopeful ball across field. Lovely, lovely challenge again. As one of the players who is already been taken into the book. Now the referee will certainly have a word with him. It was a very promising situation for Air Force, who would have been pulled down or pulled back because of that challenge. So the referee being a little lenient on that occasion, but certainly a lot of cautions being thrown right now by Air Force.
Indeed, Joe, what a game it has been, and what a comeback by Sri Lanka Air Force in this second half. They've been testing this Army defense from the start of the second half, and now creating yet another much-needed opportunity, a much-needed set piece for them. A free kick in a really advantageous range. Over the top. Doesn't quite get it, will be very much disappointed. Not what we'd have expected with that kind of play.
So Mayther Fernando, the player who was at the end of it, but unfortunately he wasn't able to get a telling touch on the ball. He just cuffed his shot wide of the target. Yet another chance being spilt. Kavin Dushan certainly providing a lot of telling balls into the box, which unfortunately none of their strikers or the frontmen are able to get through to. Kavin Dushan again given the ball very cheaply. He's working his way into the box. Unfortunately not being able to square the ball into the striker's feet. Army defense in tatters at the moment.
Brilliant effort by Kavin Dushan, coming all the way and just piercing through the defense. Was very unfortunate that he couldn't just get the ball into his striker's area. It was a beautiful pass if he had got it right.
A touch of cramp for Kavin Dushan, their talisman throughout the game for Air Force. They'll be hoping that it's just a minor scare and he'll be able to shrug it off, because he has to be on the field for them to capitalize on this. Yet another set piece taken by Air Force. SC Fernando now will be taking it from the opposite end. Kavin Dushan giving the free kick taking or the set piece duties to PSC Fernando. Leaping header. Unfortunately over the bar. Kumara Lankeshwara was the man who leaped ahead of his defender, but unfortunately couldn't keep his effort on target. But another goal kick. Will Army be able to take control of this game is yet to be seen, as it's Air Force all the way since the whistle blew for the second half. A lot of last defending and clearing from Army. Hardly convincing. Oh, that's a poor error. The captain would be able to. Mohammad Izzadeen. There he goes.
How more lucky Sri Lanka Army can be after a bad start to the second half. Once again, Mohammad Izzadeen does what he does the best, and he scores that much needed goal to take Army all the way. And right now, Air Force semi-final stage is just a bit far away for them.
Yeah, it's a step too much now for them to take, because it's another defensive howler. Just as they were taking control of the game, Mohammad Izzadeen showing no mercy. They latched onto it and made Air Force pay, who left their keeper with no chance, with two men raging up against him. Mohammad Izzadin made no mistake.
There was a point that we were discussing during the first half as well. You just don't leave that player alone. Mohammad Izzadin is one key player that Sri Lanka Army has, and the entire offense revolves around him. So it's very crucial that the Sri Lanka Air Force defense takes all the crucial necessary steps to block all paths to Mohammad Izzadin. But on both the occasions, it was Mohammad Izzadin who won the battle. And that itself shows the difference in the scoreline. Sri Lanka Army leading this game 2-0. Will be a tough ask for Sri Lanka Air Force from this point onwards. They came on to the second half with a good momentum. They created the opportunities. But right now they will have to double it up. They will have to create more opportunities. Most importantly, they will have to make sure they end and get good closings for those opportunities, which they've not been doing during these entire 63 minutes.
Mohammad Izzadin clearly is the difference between both the sides. It's a matter of who took their chances and not thus far. Nafas certainly had to score within the next few minutes for them to capitalize on this huge defensive error during the first two halves. Yet another substitution for Army. Bernard is being called off, and Hunsara is the player who's been sent in for Army, injecting a bit more pace and a bit of fresh legs up front to support Izzadin in his cause up front as a lone ranger who has hardly seen the ball up until the moment he scored the goal. Yet again, he proves to be the difference with his clinical finishing.
With that crucial mistake of the goalkeeper, all the brilliant efforts by Sri Lanka Air Force has been just gone off. And it's going to be a change of voices in commentary. It's Faslan Faiz who's joining with me. Good afternoon, Faslan. What a game it has been for Sri Lanka Army. Coming out of danger during this second half and scoring that goal, Mohammad Izzadin.
Of course, Lelo. Good afternoon to you too. Second half has been in favor of Sri Lanka Air Force. Luckily, Izzadin managed to get another goal on the scoreboard. As far as now, the game is in favor of Sri Lanka Army.
Sri Lanka Air Force, of course, they have to make sure they come up with new strategies during these final 15 minutes of the game. They've just laid down all their brilliant momentum performances during the second half of the game as they started. But that goal just...
as far as I've realized up to now, Army's midfielders are stable. That's what made them not even consider a single goal. Which in case Sri Lanka Air Force, the strikers are pretty good, but midfielders are not moving up and down, which is a plus point for Army.
Once again, another opportunity for a corner kick for Sri Lanka Army. Comes curling into the box, but this time straight into the hands of the goalkeeper. He does no mistake. Rising up and collecting it neatly, and the goal kick right onto the attacking half for Sri Lanka Air Force, but doesn't quite gather it as Sri Lanka Army gets on the offense. They've shifted their gears up. A lot more energy and pace into the game after that goal scored by Izzadin, the second one.
Yafo's doing well with the passes, especially the 1-2 passes and the corner cross kicks. Unfortunately, they are unable to score a goal. That was a good hit by both players. Unfortunately, only one is down and the other one seems to be fit. Hope this could be a chance for Sri Lanka Air Force to score a goal.
Well, they've not been really capitalizing those set pieces into scoring opportunities, and once again, not the best of the ones they would have expected. Defense getting the better of it, cleared away by Sri Lanka Army. Another corner kick opportunity for Sri Lanka Air Force. A much needed one. Desperate set piece attempt. They need 2 goals to square things off. Comes curling into the box.
Wonderful goal over there by Sri Lanka Air Force. Score changes to 2-1 in favor of Sri Lanka Army.
The goalkeeper just missing it. He was rising up high.
That was Dilshan Fernando who scored the goal for Sri Lanka Air Force. A wonderful corner kick. 2 by their skipper, if I'm not mistaken. Punsar Thiruna with the pass to the midfielder. Poor ball controlling over there by Danushka Vijayasiri. Game becomes much more intense as the score changed a while ago.
Once again, the goal kick comes in out good, right into the attacking half, but Sri Lanka Air Force gets a foot on it. They've scored a much needed goal, and now they have to make sure they score the other one and score things off here. Kumara Sirisena, the goalkeeper, would be very disappointed with that effort. He rose high up, but just couldn't get his hand. Slightly missing it. And luckily, Sri Lanka Air Force, they score that goal that they were looking for since the first half. But right now, they have to do just more than that to get back into this game.
Yet again, another wonderful opportunity missed. Let's see how the counter attack goes. Nadika with the ball. Wonderful through pass. Unfortunately, Izzadin was not ready to collect it. That's Rimzan defending for Army. That was a beautiful nutmeg over there. Referee calls it for a free kick. Yet again another scoring opportunity for Sri Lanka Air Force. Chaturanga Fernando with the free kick. There goes referee with the whistle and Chaturanga with the kick. Too bad Izzadin has the ball right now. Izzadin with the counter attack all alone. Punsar Tirunal with support. Not a good pass. There goes Nadika again. Referee says play on. The Air Force has the ball. That's Rohan Fernando of Air Force. Army playing too bad. Referee calls it for a free kick. According to our head of football, it should have been a yellow card. Unfortunately, the referee says referee does not give any bookings. Yet again another scoring opportunity for Sri Lanka Air Force. At this time skipper takes the free kick. A lob pass over there did not do too well. Nadika with the tap pass. A wonderful pass again with the counter attack. Sri Lanka Army and Izidine with the ball, and Punsar Tiruna with the goal kick.
Punsara Tiruna missing it off completely. Mohammad Isadin getting that pass right on in front of Tiruna, but unfortunately didn't capitalize much. But on the other hand, Kavindu Ishan gets the much needed second goal. He has been trying so much, and finally he has done it, what he needed to do from a long time since the start of the second half. Kavindu Ishan, he deserves that goal under his name. He has been playing wonderful minutes of football since it started the second half, and finally he clears it all the way and gets the ball into the net. Scores are leveled at 2-2, and what a comeback from Air Force it has been.
That was a wonderful comeback and a wonderful counter attack as well by Sri Lanka Air Force. Kamidishan, the skipper, has done his duty as far as I know. Hopefully Sri Lanka Army lost their winning moment. This could either go for a draw or go for a win with whoever scores.
We are going into the 75th minute of the game as Sri Lanka Air Force squares things here at Racecourse International Stadium, bringing you the live action of the third quarter-final of the FA Cup Championship on www.thepapare.com, Sri Lanka's number one sports hub. And it's a free kick opportunity for Sri Lanka Army, who's under pressure right now after that brilliant effort by Kavindu Ishan, scoring that second goal to square things off. Sri Lanka Army is in desperate need for another goal. Straight into the hands of the goalkeeper. Doesn't make any mistake. They are gathering it neatly.
That's Nadik for Army over there with a bad pass. Luckily Sri Lanka Air Force could manage to come back with 2 goals, and if the score doesn't change till the last whistle, then referee decides to go for the penalties. Punsar Tiruna in the right wing over there for Sri Lanka Army. The pass to Isadine to Vijay Siri with the bad pass over there. Referee says offside. Ball in favor of Sri Lanka Army. That's Rimzan, former Hamid Al Husseini captain, taking the free kick. Poor ball controlling over there by Nadika Pushpakumara. Referee says plays on. Vijay Siri asks for a foul. That handball was not done with an intention, so referee says play on, but Vijay Siri asks for a free kick. At the end of the day, it's referees call, whatever it is.
Goal kick for Sri Lanka Air Force, but couldn't quite gather it.
What I think is the Sri Lankan Army players have lost that momentum, that winning momentum which they had till the 73rd minute, where Kavindu Ishan broke their hopes by scoring a wonderful goal for Sri Lanka Air Force, which equalized the game, and that was definitely a game changer.
Indeed, there has been a slight drawback for Sri Lanka Army in their momentum, but they need to make sure that they get things right back again. Once again, good opportunity here for Sri Lanka Army. Just outside the box, but well, the Sri Lanka Air Force defense does it better.
That was a foul by DL Gunasinghe, and unnecessary touch over there by DL Gunasinghe, which cost them their free kick. This could be a game changer for Sri Lanka Army if they make use of the moment, especially with the free kick. Nadika Pushpakumara, who was a part of the Sri Lanka Under-21 team in 2009. Wonderful free kick over there by Nadika Pushpakumara. Fortunately, goalkeeper saves it. Barakagoda with the ball at the moment. That was called offside by the referees. As you can see, 3 players are down along with the goalkeeper of Sri Lanka Air Force. Probably not. Sorry for the inconvenience caused. That was a slight technical difficulty by the technical team. The match has been paused for few minutes as few of the players are down due to injury or due to not enough of fitness or stamina. Stay tuned with ThePapare.com for tomorrow's quarterfinal, which will be played at the Racecourse Stadium. That will be against Blue Star against Sounders.
And of course, reminding you about the ThePapare.com social media platforms. We're a 24/7 news hub targeting both international and national news. You can find us on all major social media platforms, starting off from Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and SoundCloud, of course, where we bring live match updates right from the venue. As soon as the match is over, you could tune in and know the score line of the match and how things went off. www.thepapare.com, Sri Lanka's #1 sports hub.
The game certainly seemed to be done and dusted on the 68th minute, but you never say die in this sport, and yet again it proves to be true as Air Force found their way back into the game. Quick 2 goals, one of set piece and one of a moment of brilliance from Kavindu Ishan, drawing the game back into where we started, and now 9 minutes left for either side to find a winner. Kavindu Ishan certainly is the thorn in Army's defense as he seems to be weaving his way past so many defenders. Yet another chance. A poor volley by Dumindu. Yet again, it was another chance. They were able to get behind the Army defense. Army certainly seemed to be clueless about what had been happening there. Most of the Army players with their heads down after conceding 2 quick goals. Possibly did not go according to their script. Completely caught them off guard, and now they find themselves on level pegging. Certainly have to start all over again in terms of finding a winner within the last 7 to 8 minutes. Yet another player going down. Suspicion of cramp as the rest of the players take a breather. Now the physical attributes of each and every player will be tested during the latter part of the game. It's certainly been a physically demanding game throughout the 80 to 83 minutes which has been played so far.
Indeed, Joe, and it has been a wonderful comeback for Air Force after going down 2-0. As you said, most of us up here, and even the Air Force lads had thought the match was well over. 2 defensive errors costing them 2 goals. Mohammad Izzadin taking hold of one in the first half. Then it was Madhushan Disilla who once again laid off to Izzadin from an acute angle to finish it. But the never say die attitude of the Airmen showing off once again. I said earlier that the last 2 times these 2 sides have met, Air Force have come back from behind. But that too from just 1 goal behind, and there seems to be an appeal for the penalty, but the referee waves play on to the other side and awards free kick for Air Force.
The referee adjudged the decision as to a supposed dive, although he did not penalize the player, much to the anguish of the rest of the Army men.
Some strange calls in this match, isn't it, Joe?
A lot of challenges going uncautioned, which were definitely very last ditch and very challenging, and yet another tackle, especially on the offensive half, especially when Air Force seemed to be gathering a bit of momentum. These challenges were flying in, so now the referee seemed to be having a word with the Army captain, who was completely disgruntled by the previous call inside the penalty box. Seems to be asked to calm down, to go by the call, as we see the substitution made by Army. I beg your pardon, Air Force.
It looks like Tarak Damit Disanayaka is on the field.
Air Force tried a lovely little routine but didn't come off. Seemed to have caught their own players by surprise as well. As Army restart the game, looking for that telling pass to settle the game. By the looks of it, the next goal will settle the game for either one of the teams. It's a matter of who will find the goal. As again a beautiful ball whipped in. But the keeper was alert to it and grabs the ball.
From the onset of this match, it was Air Force who threatened with their set pieces, and from one of those that they clawed 1 goal back from a corner, whipped in by Kamidushan, headed home by Dilshan Fernando. So that gave them the momentum. And as you said, Joe, moment of brilliance from Kamidushan, who has been quite excellent in this match, getting them that vital goal under pressure from the defender and the goalkeeper, just sneaking it past the on-rushing keeper, Nilanka Kumara.
In complete fairness to the Air Force goalkeeper, he seemed to be having a good game. Unfortunately, during the 2 occasions where Army were able to breach their defense, he was completely left unguarded and in a helpless position where he really seemed to have no answer for the oncoming attack. But apart from that, he seemed to have had a lot of control in the game and did command, especially during set pieces. As we see another player going down, supposed cramp again. A lot of players being tested physically at the moment during the very latter part of the game with 3 minutes left on the clock. And by the looks of it, the game seems to be going the extra distance unless one of the teams can find a winner during these last phases, as Air Force have a set piece in hand at the moment.
This could be the last chance for Sri Lanka Air Force to score a goal. If they do well, they win the game, or else Sri Lanka Army could come back with a counter attack. As you can see, Chamira Mendes is on the half line, standing and getting ready to score a goal. Wonderful save by the goalkeeper over there.
Fortunately for the goalkeeper, the referee seemed to come to his aid. He seemed to be in a bit of a tangle there, but was able to get a fist on the ball. Again, Kavindu Ushan's crosses seem to be bothering a lot of the defense of the Army players. If Air Force do manage to find a winner here, it will be one of the sensational comebacks after being 2 goals down with only a matter of 15 to 17 minutes on the clock. As we see a rare attack by Army, squandered away to a throw-in.
Last minute chance over here.
Hopeful shot, but fortunately sprayed away from the target. That seems to be it, as the game is coming to the end for the last few seconds, and another player going down. But the referee is waving play on, so
I think what they're trying to do is waste time as much as they could, so that the referee will keep the chance of scoring the final whistle of the game.
now the referee has called on for assistance after seeing the fact that the player has rarely moved after going down to the ground, and it seems like Air Force are preparing for their final substitution, assuming the fact that the player on the ground will be the player who's to be replaced, considering the fact that penalties could be the decider of the game.
Hopefully, Joe, this is this is not a new thing for Sri Lanka football, as this happens in every match pretty much. As far as I've seen, the underdogs come back and they waste time as much as they could.
Compared to the first 2 quarterfinals, this has been completely end-to-end and very competitive. Certainly a good watch for the neutral after Air Force staged an excellent comeback to Kavindu Ishan, who was the provider for the first goal and who was pretty much the sole man who finished the move in terms of the second goal. Clearly a favorite for the man of the match candidate.
Of course, Joe, that he would be the ideal choice for a man of the match.
The game moving into injury time. Still not aware of the fact that how many minutes have been added by the referees. The 4th referee still in talks with the bench as to make an indication as to how many minutes have been added on.
There goes another player down with a cramp, I guess.
Most of the players are collapsing.
Referee stops the watch, but he says play on again.
Most of the players seem to be collapsing after every touch of the ball. It's a severe test of their physical abilities. A very humid day, although it has been overcast throughout the game. And a last-ditch challenge, possibly the last move of the game where Army will be able to find a winner if they play the ball right. Again, a quick throw taken in.
Of course, Joe, if they seize the moment, they will be able to score another goal, which will let them win this match.
Free kick given away again by the soldiers. Now Air Force can launch the ball up front in hope that someone will get on top the end of it.
Ball wonderfully distributed by this midfielder Vijay Siri, and Punsar Thirun over there with the ball, trying to get past few defenders. Unfortunately, Kamidushan with the ball at the moment.
Lovely tracking back by the captain, who worked his way all the way from the half line just to intercept that ball and made the defensive clearance, and then the second clearance which gave Army their throw in. Still the ball is with the soldiers, who are trying to make a stitched effort, but beautifully held by the keeper from Air Force, who seems to be having his box under control. Clearly into the second minute of injury time. That's two.
I don't think the extra time would go more than 5 minutes, as far as the referee hasn't shown any notice of it.
Just as we speak, the referee has blown the final whistle, drawing play to an end. It seems as if though the play or the result will be decided on spot kicks, as it has been throughout this tournament so far. Most of the players are collapsing onto the ground with a certain amount of discomfort. Now the referees will flip the coin to see who will take the first kick and see who gains the advantage, as the game has been ended 2-2 after an exciting game of play, with Air Force staging a sensational comeback after going 2 goals down on the 70th minute.
This could also be the highlight of the goalkeepers, as it's in their hands at the moment, as the game goes on to penalties.
It will certainly test the nerve of most of the players. Now, since it's crunch time of the game, it will come down to who will hold their nerve and who won't. And of course the goalkeepers with their traditional saves and the spots kick. Now the best spot kick specialist will be taken as well, to see who will decide the game in favor of whichever the team it may be. As we see the stats on screen, the second half clearly been dominated by Air Force, although they have a fewer attempts on target compared to Army. Also, the number of fouls committed is also significant, 17 by Army, which gave ample amount of possession and set pieces in their own half to Air Force. And also the number of corners conceded, and also the fact that Army had a significant amount of offsides during the time they capitalized on possession, which also cost them dearly after having a 2-goal advantage, which allowed Air Force to come into the game and to draw the game into spot kicks at the moment. It was a very physical game, and both teams have shared 2 yellow cards apiece. A lot of questionable decisions which could have resulted in a few more yellow cards, but yet the referee decided that they were not cautious enough for him to dish out a yellow card.
Luckily, none of them have considered a red card, as you can see the number of fouls are more than 10 from both sides. This could be reduced, especially if they could handle their discipline.
As the players take a slight breather, we'll go to a commercial break and we'll be right back with the spot kicks, as the referees are still deciding.
This is the story of a nation on the move, competing globally through a fiber optic network, delivering solutions instantly with superfast 4G, redefining entertainment with 3G HSPA+, making every day more efficient with Wi-Fi, bringing a world of knowledge to your home with fixed 4G. Get connected to Sri Lanka's fastest network. Dialog, the #1 choice of the people. Dialog, the future today.
Sawadee-Kap! Can you give me data SIM?
Massage?
No, data SIM.
Massage, very good.
No, data SIM.
You are Sri Lanka? Why you no use dialogue data roaming? Unlimited data, $5 a day.
Unlimited data for just $5 a day?
Yeah. Unlimited, same massage you want?
Me?
Unlimited data roaming for just $5 a day with dialogue roaming. Clearly the best way to roam.
Welcome back to ThePapare.com. Here we are at the Racecourse Stadium. The game has gone over to the penalties, as now Army will be taking the first penalty with skipper.
The Army skipper Madhushan De Silva stepping up for his team to take the first spot kick. And, certainly a test of nerves as to see who will get the advantage. Referee blows the whistle. It's a wonderfully taken kick. Very calm and composed. Places it to the side, leaving the keeper with no chance. Advantage certainly with Army right now.
As I mentioned earlier, this could be the highlight of the goalkeepers, as the goalkeepers are Kumar Sirisena of Sri Lanka Army and Ruwan Arunasiri from Sri Lanka Air Force. Now it's Sri Lanka Air Force with the penalty kick. Number 12, Nirosha Fonseca, I guess. IT Hapuarachi with the penalty kick over there. Wonderfully taken.
Again a calm penalty. No signs of nerves as he stepped up for the kick. He knew what he was doing and he swatted it past the keeper easily. Both spot kick takers thus far haven't shown signs of nerves, but it will be tested as the shootout progresses. Certainly seems as if though it's the goalkeepers who have to come to the party to save either one of the teams, as Sajid Kumar steps up for the second penalty and he flares it over the bar. Hardly challenged by the keeper. He just got underneath it and flared it over the bar.
Sajid Kumar, he shouldn't have missed it. The Sri Lankan winger he is. This could cost the match for Sri Lanka Army.
Army certainly handed the advantage back to Air Force, who can go 2-1 ahead in the shootout if
not the full.
If Chaturanga Fernando is able to capitalize on the blunder. He certainly does. Again a cool and calm penalty taken.
He does celebrate, even though the goalkeeper also jumped into the same side. He could not even tap the ball.
Goalkeeper did guess the right side, but unfortunately wasn't able to get a telling touch.
There goes Asikur Rahman of Sri Lanka Army to take the third penalty for the soldiers. If this is also missed, then I think the match will be in favor of Sri Lanka Air Force.
Rahman certainly has to convert just to make sure the Air Force are given a match out of this. Again a nervy penalty, yet it still counts as he is able to slide it past the keeper. With very less conviction, it's still 2-2 in favor of Air Force, who have a kick in hand, and who better to take it than Kavindu Ishan, who has been Air Force's talisman throughout this game. He will be taking it with a lot of confidence after the match he has had.
There goes Kavindu Shan, misses the penalty. Wonderfully taken by the goalkeeper, Kumar Sirisena.
Sirisena proved to be the bigger man. Yet another moment where you expected Kavindu Ishan to step up to the game and swat it home with all the confidence he had, but the keeper came out trumps in that.
That moment reminds me of the 2008 Champions League final, which Cristiano Ronaldo missed the penalty even though he played very well during the game. There goes Ami with another goal.
Roshan Apuhami for Army swats it again to give the advantage to the soldiers. It's still on level peggings at the moment as it stands. And Air Force could equalize if they were to convert this kick. It's one of those nervy penalty shootouts with both teams missing one kick apiece.
That was definitely a Ronaldo moment when Kavindu Shan missed his penalty. He had a one hell of a game throughout the match, and at the last moment he missed it. Number 8 we have Kumar Lankasiri, and he misses it too. There goes Sri Lanka Army.
It's such a weak penalty straight at the keeper who hardly had to move a muscle to stop the ball. It was straight directed towards him, unfortunately.
As I can realize, he was in a hurry to take the penalty. The goalkeeper did not even take a single step. He was at the same position as he was, and there goes the kick, which was taken wonderfully by the goalkeeper.
Now as Mohammad Izzadeen steps in, they have to save this penalty to stay in the game, Air Force, as they have missed 2 kicks. If they convert this...
Oh. And there goes Izzadeen, the man of Sri Lanka Army.
He certainly has turned heroes into villains in this penalty kick, as both goal scorers have missed their assured penalty kicks, as it seems. And it's again advantage to Air Force, who can again draw level to make the shootout 3-3, which will send the shootout into a sudden death phase if it were to end 3-3 at the end of it.
Yet again another Ronaldo moment over there by Izzadeen, scoring 2 goals during the match, and he misses the penalty. As I can feel, all the players are under pressure, under immense pressure.
Nipuna Bandara stepping up and smashes it to the top of the net, leveling things up again now as the game goes into sudden death. It's 3-3. We're still where we were at the beginning of this game.
There goes Danushka Vijay for Sri Lanka Army. He too had a wonderful game, as he was a midfielder and he's supplied the ball throughout to the wingers. Let's see whether he could make it or not to the penalty.
Every single player who seemed to be confident in terms of taking the penalty seemed to be the ones who missed, so nothing assured here. It's a calm penalty, very well taken to the side of to the right side of his net, and beautifully sorted away as Army take a 4-3 lead in the sudden death phase with number 13 for Air Force. Damit Disanayaka, the second half substitute, is stepping in to take another kick, again to level things up. A good save here could settle it for Army, which it is. It's a wonderful save, rather a very poor penalty, if it must be said, handing the advantage to Army. The keeper has the last laugh as the game has been settled 4-3 on penalties.
There goes Sri Lanka Army with the victory in penalties. Man of the match, I think, will go to Kumar Sirisena, as he was the person who brought the victory to Sri Lanka Army.
He certainly is the hero, saving 3 penalties, and surely that was what brought the game back towards Army, who certainly seemed to have lost it after the 70th minute, allowing Air Force to equalize. After being 2 goals up, but
of course, Joe, not easy to save 3 penalties like in a game like this, where they were in a winning moment and they lose it, and then it goes into penalties.
he certainly held his nerve. He guessed his side right and he went with his instinct, and it proved to be the pivotal point of the game as he was able to save 3 penalties, sending Army through on penalties 4-3 against Air Force into the semi-finals.
Exactly, Joe. There goes Army in the semi-finals, and the person who comes up next in the other side will be decided tomorrow when Blue Star fights against Sounders at the Racecourse International Stadium.
After this result, Army are scheduled to meet Colombo FC in the semi-finals. It's another uphill task for them, but it's a story for another day. But as it stands, it's Army who prevail over Air Force 4-3 on penalties after the game ended 2-2.
We will be also telecasting tomorrow's match, Blue Star versus Sounders. Stay tuned with us with ThePapare.com. We'll be live streaming the match from the Racecourse International Stadium. Thank you very much for staying with us. This is Fazlan Faiz and Joe Harsha from ThePapare.com, sharing the passion.